you're healthy, your brain is healthy, everything's better and brighter. But I'm just saying, real yoga, which isn't available except for Ashtanga today, gives an all-body workout from it builds from the inside out. So it's a deep practice. It introduces just a sense of spirituality. You don't have to be, but a sense of community. And yoga will help you weather the storms. So anyway, just saying, for people who think and like a doormat could be implied by mat-us, or people who think they're special but don't get a paycheck from agencies think they're supposed to have these fake names. So we'll just put it out there. Anyway, we're supposed to go and we have to learn about yoga. The problem is, if it doesn't perfectly emulate the real yoga, then you're not really learning it. The same benefits that I received from the old version of Maha Yoga here in Philadelphia and Dhyana Yoga are no longer available. Door was closed, pandemic came in, people got wiped out, and there's a whole different scene going on now. And dare I say, this scene is the weak scene. So I'm just saying, there are people who think if you don't eat meat, you're weak. I see it as the opposite. I want to see if you can develop some discipline and not keep shoving cheesesteaks in your face or pie hole. So, with all the calories, all the fat, all the dead meat of a cow who you didn't witness being killed, we have so many options today. It's amazing how much you can enjoy on at least a vegetarian diet, and have a lighter life. You will feel lighter. You will operate with more lightness, meaning in a healthy way. You won't be bogged down. You won't be as depressed. So I'm just saying, if you eat dead things, you might experience depression and then have to go to big pharma to remedy that. So in the world of green juicing and so forth and so on, Dan the Man, someone I watched a lot for inspiration to keep me going. I found him after I already started green juicing. Living foods keep people, get this, living foods that aren't overly cooked, or only cooked to a certain degree. And that would be a luxury item, but living foods keep people living. And dead foods keep people dead. So I don't mean to pontificate, but I am living proof that I survived one of the worst cases of whatever it is, orchestrated stalking and more, because living foods were introduced into my world, and I wholeheartedly believe that that's what kept me alive, and also a few people jealous, because some people need Sharon to be still, fat, 169 pounds, struggling through life, crawling on the ground, desperate for a man, and never getting one, because if you're heavy and it's attributed to lack of self-esteem or what have you, you're probably not going to get married, at least not in a healthy way, right, ladies? So, all right. So this is where I used to come up for yoga habit. Are we going all the way to Fairmount? They have a school over here. I totally forgot about this school. I forgot which street it was on, so they're all coming into school. And I'll head on up to Fairmount. I believe it's spelled like Mount. I have to look. There's Fairmount and Fairmont. So, some places are confusing, and every time I have to check. But I'm pretty sure it's Fairmount. What does a mount mean to you? Okay? Do a little, whatever you call it, brain thing. I forget what you call it now, but you play that game and try to come up with all the ideas. They won't give it to me because so what wanted to come through was brain scramble. Like if people up here try to scramble people's brains. And this is so interesting because people could be operating on such a different system that it's almost opposite of reality. It's hard to explain. There are different populations and they wholeheartedly, think that 2 + 2 = 5. When the reality is 2 + 2 = 4, not 5. But people could be led to believe this, or their brains can be tricked. And it could be like in a cult population where they do this because they want to hold on to you for dear life. They don't want to lose people from their cult. They don't want the real world getting to you. They don't want you to know reality because they want to keep abusing you. You see? So if you still believe something, that's not, overall majority rules considered a fact. Like we all agree that this is a green, one of the shades of green, this carriage house awning. We have people who are so inverted and opposite that they will just decide it's pink. And they'll start to believe it's pink. Okay? We know it's in the hunter green range, spectrum of greens. So, but say you had a whole neighborhood like here. Oh no, that's pink. We changed it, it's pink. For us, it's pink. But it starts to get weird because people are born and raised in captivity here. Like whales and elephants who never once experienced the natural world. Okay? And they have no idea that kids come in, they have no idea what reality is because someone created a new reality. Only it's not good. Like I can see people wanting to change the world for the better. But what if it's like basic things that everyone agrees upon so that you can get through life in general, Anyway, Bar Hickey looks a little different these days. I'm wondering what it's different. I say Hickey, but it's really not that. It's Bar. I forget, I have to look it up, Hogue or Hag or Hig or anyway. If you're going to San Francisco, Persian tile or brick rather, masonically put in the sidewalk. Art Museum, Veterinarian Center, Holy Temple Church. Now it is Fairmount. Temple and church. Does that seem normal to you? These are separate edifices. Certain people have temples and certain people have churches. So how did they, that's an actual real distinguishing thing. We know, Jewish people usually go to temple. And, churches are usually reserved for the more Christian-minded. So what's the difference? Ionic 6, ions are the charges that come in when there's an unequal distribution of protons and electrons. There's Yoga Habit, my friends. Anytime Fitness, which is a 24-hour fitness access gym. They have it here, almost like a fake experiment. And the reason I say that is in this area, there aren't a lot of, in fact, it's the only 24-hour